CBS Sports.
15 miles per hour. That would translate into a chill factor of about 3 degrees above zero. Hi, everybody. I'm Vin Scully, along with Hank Stram. And Mark Twain said everybody talks about the weather, but nobody does anything about it. What about the weather today, and particularly a frozen field?
Well, this is always a treacherous area to play a game in. As you know, Ben, the wind is a factor. The field is a factor. It's frozen. I talked to Jan Stenerud before the game. He was very concerned about the placement of his left foot because he wanted to make sure he didn't slip when he kicked the football. So all those things are very important in this game today.
There's one other thing besides the elements that are always surrounding a ball game, and that would be a tremendous amount of emotion in New York, all centered right now at Shea Stadium.
Yes, and if I were the Green Bay Packers, I'd much rather start the game on defense than I would on offense because of the emotional frenzy of this crowd. The reaction of the crowd to the players is going to be a big factor especially in the early part of the game. So I definitely would want to play defense to start the game. Here we are, Vin. We're ready to stretch the pores. Let's go to work.
Okay, Hank. And the Green Bay Packers won the toss, and they elected to receive. So the New York Jets, Pat Leahy, will be kicking to the deep men, and that would be Turdell Middleton, number 34, and Mike McCoy, number 29. So Leahy kicks it, and this one is underway. And it'll be Middleton starting out at the 6-yard line. Upended at the 15 and dives forward across the 20, and it was Johnny Lynn, who hit him and knocked him down. And they'll mark the ball at about the 22-yard line, and that's where the Pack will put it in play. 1st and 10. Dickey with Huckleberry and Ellis, the running backs. Lofton and Jefferson, the wide receivers. With Concar, Thompson, McCarron, Harris, Cook, and Kaufman up front. The Green Bay fighting the Jets and this tremendous emotional crowd here at Shea Stadium, and Dickey brings them up. Dickey play action fake to Harlan Huckleby, low to Lofton, and Lofton goes down at about the 37-yard line, and the late call ruling it no catch. It was very tough to see, and Lofton trying to curl on the ball couldn't do it.
One thing that's very important when you play in this kind of a field in this kind of weather, the quarterback really has to do a good job of following through with his throw. Dickey did that time, but he held on to the ball just a little bit too long.
James Lofton just called to the All-Pro Bowl. The youngster who has had an outstanding year in his 4th year out of Stanford, but no catch, so it is 2nd and 10. Jefferson goes wide right with Kaufman a split end, and Lofton wide left. And again, Dickey going to send it up, and down he goes, and it was number 93, Marty Lyons, who made the sack. And the sack exchange is in business, and the crowd acting like the Dow Jones has gone over 1,000.
We get a good shot of the outside receiver, Jefferson slipping, trying to make a cut to the inside, but slipped and fell on the frozen turf.
So Marty Lyons, 3 years out of Alabama, makes the first sack of the day as Dickey lost his receiver, and it is 3rd and 12 on the Packer 20-yard line. And Dickey throwing in and out of the hands of the intended receiver, and that would be his tight end, Kaufman. Kaufman taking a lick from a man they figure to pick on, Jesse Johnson. And so the Packers will have to give it up.
And that's why I mentioned earlier, I'd much rather start the game on defense in this kind of a contest, and it looks like it could be an advantage for the New York Jets, depending on where they get field position after this kick.
Bruce Harper, the multi-purpose back for the New York Jets, is standing on the New York 45. And it'll be Ray Stackowitz, who went to school at Michigan State, and one reason the Packers drafted him, they figured that he was accustomed to cold weather. And you look at Harper now waiting to make the reception. He will also be squinting up into a brilliant sun. Low snap, and Stackowitz running with the ball, now kicking, and it's going to be blocked, and finally recovered. The Jets in magnificent field position, and the man who blocked it was Al Washington, number 52.
Here we go. the bad snap. He caught it. He needed a baseball glove to make that play. Decided to run. No place to go. Couldn't have made the first down. Decided to kick it. It's blocked. And the New York Jets have great field position. 1st and 10.
So thanks to Al Washington, who is a rookie out of Ohio State. He's a big guy, 6'3", and it was Washington blocking Stakowitz's attempted punt on the run. And the Jets have it 1st and 10 on the Packer 12-yard line. So Richard Todd with Tom Newton and Freeman McNeil, the running backs. In motion is Lamb Jones. Todd's going to give it to Freeman McNeil, and McNeil driving through to the 5 and kept on going, and we'll see whether they mark the ball. They will mark it at the 2-yard line. Here's the way the Jets stack up offensively. Richard Todd with Freeman McNeil and Tom Newton. Lamb Jones and Wesley Walker, the wide receivers. Then you have Ward, Rasmussen, Fields, Alexander, and All-Pro Marvin Powell, along with Jerome Barkham, the tight end. So from the 2, it is 2nd down. This time, the pack stiffens at about the 1-yard line as Kevin Long tried to punch it over.
Boy, that first play, Chris Ward, Randy Rasmussen, and Joe Fields all did a great job of getting off the ball and providing good running room for Freeman McNeil, who took it right down to about the 2-yard line. Good surge by the offensive line.
So Kevin Long just stopped at the last moment on the sideline. Walt Michaels, who briefly in his career was a member of the Green Bay Packers, and now they tell us that Kevin Long was able to pick up the 1st down. So it is 1st and goal inside the Packer 1-yard line. Kevin Long and Freeman McNeil. And it's Kevin Long, and no indication that he broke it, and now they give it. He broke the plane of the goal line for the touchdown. There's a problem because McNeil slips trying to block for him.
Yeah, he got a bad start coming off the ball, but he went through there. He was very high on a short yardage play, but in spite of that, boy, that was very, very close. It didn't look like he really broke the plane.
So Kevin Long squirting over with McNeil slipping, trying to be the lead blocker. And now the point by Pat Leahy. He's 34 out of 35, and add one more for him. So with 12 minutes and 42 seconds left to play in the 1st quarter, thanks to a bad snap and a block punt, the New York Jets are leading the Jets leading 7-0 over Green Bay with 12:42 left in the 1st quarter. I'm Vin Scully along with Hank Stram. Pull up a chair. Looks like we're going to have a wingding here. Pat Leahy kicking low into the right side to Mike McCoy. McCoy muffing it, picks it up at the 2. Now to the 10, across to the 15, and dropped there. One of the first men down to get him was Kirk Springs, who normally is seen as a rookie back. Here's the way the Jets stack up defensively with Gastineau, Salam, Lyons, and Klecko, the New York Stock Exchange, and now called the Sack Exchange, with Buttle, Blinka, and Mel, the linebackers. Johnson and Holmes at the corners, Shroy and Ray at the safeties. And, of course, Jesse Johnson is normally a safety. He's pressed into a corner because Lynn and Dykes are pretty well banged up. From the 15, 1st and 10 for Lynn Dickey. In motion is Kaufman, the tight end. They'll stay on the ground at Gary Ellis. Ellis running laterally and might have lost a yard.
Yeah, Ellis really didn't do a good job of running that time. He ran sideways, ran east and west, instead of trying to get his nose into a seam and getting as much as he possibly could on the play. There wasn't much running room, but at least you have to get upfield and try to get the most out of the play that you possibly can.
And they'll give him almost back to the line of scrimmage, maybe a half a yard shy of that. So 2nd and a long 10 at the 15. And Harlan Huckleby are the running backs. And this time it's Ellis straight ahead, and he's out across the 25 and driving to about the 28-yard line. A quick burst for 13 yards and a first down easily.
The defense of the New York Jets is a very aggressive defense. Their front four, they come across, they're tough. They're in the gaps a lot. That time they ran a trap. Leotis Harris, the right guard, trapping the defensive right tackle. Beautiful play, good execution on the run.
So the ball just shy of the Packer 29-yard line, 1st and 10. Jefferson goes right, Lofton is left, and Ellis is in motion to the left. Dickey, with all backs releasing, throwing low, didn't have a good grip on the ball. It was intended for John Jefferson.
It looked like Dickey rolled just slightly that time, and as he planted his right foot, it slipped a little bit. That's why he didn't have anything on the ball that went into the turf and falls incomplete. But the real key was the fact that he could not set up well, and his right foot slipped.
Up front, you're looking, among others, at Joe Klecko. He and Mark Gastineau with 18 sacks. Jekyll, a kid who didn't play until his senior year in high school. Well, what a career he's already had. Second and 10 now for Lynn Dickey. Both backs releasing. Dickey low over the middle. No good. That was intended for the tight end, Paul Kaufman.
Dickey is very concerned about the footing. He slipped again that time, and after the play, he threw it poorly into the ground. After the play, he was scratching and digging. There was a penalty on the play.
Offense, number 71, holding, refused, 3rd down.
So the penalty, as you heard, refused. Our referee was Fred Silva, the umpire Ralph Moorcroft, the head linesman Frank Glover, and the line judge is Vern Marshall. Back judge Jim Carney, the side judge Merrill Douglas, and the field judge is Don Orr. So 3rd and 10 for the Pack on their own 29. 7-0 Jets. Lofton and Kaufman is left. Jefferson out wide to the right. Dickey going to be sacked by Klecko at the 20-yard line. So Joe Klecko's 19th sack. That gives the New York Sack Exchange 59 sacks.
Mark Honkar, number 79, the offensive left tackle, does not handle Klecko on the play. He runs around the outside of the block and makes the sack. I think one thing that you have to do if you're going to throw the ball a lot, you must keep a back helping the tackle on Klecko and also Gastineau on the other side. You're not going to be able to block them all afternoon, just one-on-one with the offensive tackles.
Ray Stachowicz gets a good snap this time and gets the kick away. And Harper, standing at his 41, got away from Whitaker, but he's going to be down almost in the identical spot. Picked up about 4 yards from the time Whitaker hit him at the 40. He got it back to the 44. So Bart Starr, standing in the New York sunshine, has seen his Packers a little slow, just picking up 1 first down in their 2 possessions. And now the Jets, with 11 minutes left in the first quarter, leading 7-0, have it on their own 45. 1st and 10. Lamb Jones in motion, and it'll be Freeman McNeil, and he is hammered by Rich Wingo at about the 44, and he drives across for a yard and picks up 1 to the 46. So it'll be 2nd down and 9.
Wingo, the inside linebacker, really did a good job of reading the play and getting in the gap to make that tackle.
Durking is now in the backfield along with Harper. Harper goes out on a wing, though there are 4 eligible receivers right now with Harper in motion. And Todd is going to send it up. Deep down the middle, picked off by Mark Murphy. And Murphy goes down at the Packer 41-yard line. So Mark Murphy, who is called the most improved of the defensive backs 1 year out of West Liberty, intercepts the pass of Richard Todd, intended for Lamb Jones.
They were in a zone that time, and they tried to pierce the zone right down the hash marks. But Murphy, number 37, great anticipation, got a good jump on the ball, intercepted it, goes down the right side, and is finally tackled there by number 85, Wesley Walker.
23-year-old Mark Murphy's third interception of the year, the Packers' 30th, and they have it 1st and 10 on their own 41. They'll stay on the ground with Ellis. Ellis bumped into back Carlin Huckleby and got about to the 44-yard line. A pickup of 3. It'll be 2nd and 7.
Two things that are very important when you play against a team that plays a defense like the Jets. Number one, as I mentioned earlier, they're very, very aggressive. You have to trap the defensive tackles and ends. You also should be able to run screens, and you should also be able to run a lot of draws because they come up the field very strong.
2nd and a long 6 for the Pack. The ball just shy of the Green Bay 45-yard line. Kaufman in motion. And it'll be the second man, Harlan Huckleby, but he runs into people and down he goes. Among others to hit him were Greg Buttle and Lance Mell. The Packers had gotten the ball only out to their 29 in their 2 previous possessions, and now at the interception they finally find themselves in pretty good field position.
The important thing is, however, when you have good field position, you must take advantage of field position and do something with it.
Well, we'll see what they can do. 3rd and 6 from the 45. They send Lofton right and Jefferson left. And now they're going to load up the right side as Jefferson in motion. Ellis staying in the block. And Dickey, with a little time, finds Lofton, and he gets away from Johnson and is finally slung out of bounds by Darrell Ray, but he goes out at the 36-yard line of New York, and that's a 1st down.
The key to the play, Lofton, number 80, is working on the left cornerback, Jesse Johnson, number 27. But the important thing is that Lofton came back. He came back for the ball, which was a big play, and that was the reason why he was able to make that reception.
Joe Klecko is out of the ball game for the moment, and Kenny Neal comes in to give him a brief respite. And it is 1st and 10 Packers on the Jets' 36-yard line. Lofton left and Jefferson right. Dickey losing the ball for the moment, and a pileup. And it is going to be a moment until we find out, and the Packers recovered it.
You couldn't tell whether Dickey came out of there too quickly. He just did not get the ball from the center, McCarron, that time. There was a bad mesh, bad exchange between the quarterback and the center, and the ball popped up into the air, and they're very, very lucky to be able to recover that fumble.
And they only lost 2 yards, so it'll make it 2nd and 12 from the Jet 38. 7-0 New York. We have 8:23 left in the first quarter as Bart Starr and Walt Michaels. 2 fellas, as we mentioned at the top of the show, who are under the shadow of being fired, have certainly squared their teams around. Kaufman in motion, and Dickey on a deep drop over the middle. Hard hit. The intended receiver was Ellis. He was hit by Greg Buttle, and there's a flag on the play. Boy, Buttle really belted him.
Boy, that was really a terrific hit by Buttle, number 51.
That's a Joe Paterno Penn State hit. The penalty will be against Green Bay. And here's Fred Sims.
Delay, number 12. 2nd down.
So a delay of game penalty against Lynn Dickey for 5 yards.
You know, been in obvious passing situations in 2nd and long. Green Bay has to run some traps to slow down that rush, because if they don't, they're going to be in trouble. Even if they don't make a lot of yardage, they still have to trap their defense to keep them at home and keep them on the line of scrimmage.
So it's 2nd and about 17. The ball on the Jets' 43-yard line. Remember, they had 1st and 10 on the 36. Lewis in motion as the tight end. And Dickey has it picked off by Lance Mell. And Mell is down at the Jets' 40-yard line. Lance Mell, who in the words of Joe Paterno was as good a linebacker as I've ever had at Penn State, coming off a concussion, makes the interception.
There we see Dickey back into the pocket. Protection is good. He steps up into the pocket. And Lance Mel, number 56, is really the only guy that was open on the play. He comes in there, makes the interception, and the Jets have possession, 1st and 10 on the 40.
So the Packers, after Mark Murphy's interception, had great field position, got it down to the Jets 36, only to surrender it to Lance Mel. And now Richard Todd and the Jets will take over, 1st and 10, with 7 minutes and 55 seconds left to go in the first quarter. The Green Bay Packer bench trying to stay warm. We were talking to Mrs. Bartstar before the game. She said, we haven't had a day this cold in Green Bay. So 1st and 10 at the Jet 40-yard line. Lamb Jones going left, Wesley Walker right, and now Jones comes to Walker. They'll go on the ground to Freeman McNeil, and McNeil pulls his way across the 45-yard line. And with that, let's go to Brent Musburger for an update in New York.
Vinny, the Philadelphia Eagles strike first on St. Louis. Jaworski 4 yards to Charlie Smith. The big news out of Tampa Bay, the Bucks lead the Lions by a field goal. Denver by 3 over Chicago. Back to you in Shea Stadium.
It is 2nd and 5 on the Jets 45-yard line. Kevin Long is in there now with Freeman McNeil, and they go slot left with Walker and Lamb Jones. And it's Kevin Long into Packer territory. So Long alternating with Tom Newton, driving it through.
One thing you have to be impressed with regard to the offense of the New York Jets, the offensive line are Chris Ward, Rasmussen, Fields, Alexander, Powell. Boy, they're terrific, and that was a great illustration of the great surge they had on that last play.
And Walt Michaels alternating Newton and Long, and Newton is back in there now, number 44, to join Freeman McNeil. Walker and Lamb Jones both on the left side, and they'll stay on the ground. And Freeman McNeil breaking tackles to the Packer 40 and driving to the 38-yard line. Freeman McNeil, who was sound and really running, coming off a bad foot.
They send a man in motion. They run to the right. The left guard is pulling on the play, Rasmussen. McNeil does a good job of finding the running room, runs with good vision, and makes a nice gain on the play.
They talk about Freeman McNeil as the best at his position since Emerson Boozer carried the leather for New York. And he has a first down, so they'll try him again, and there he goes. He's across the 35, and they'll stack him down around the 32-yard line to pick up another first down.
Nothing fancy. Right now, the offensive line of the New York Jets are dominating the line of scrimmage, and that's why they're able to run as well as they're running at this stage of the game.
We were talking before about all pros, and there are a couple of them up front. Joe Fields, the center, and Marvin Powell, 2 of the offensive linemen for the Jets, have been named to the Pro Bowl. 1st and 10 on the 32-yard line of the Packers. 7-0 New York. Slot left with Jones and Walker. Richard Todd gonna flip it, intended for Lamb Jones, and he just plain overthrew him. He had Jones all alone, and he let it get away.
He really wanted to throw the ball to Barkham, number 83, who was anchored on the right side. He took a look over here, wanted to throw here, but he was jammed at the line of scrimmage, and very wisely went back across the field, was not ready to. He didn't plant and throw as well as he should have. As a result, the ball went over the top and goes incomplete.
And you can see the men who have been selected: James Lofton for Green Bay, and Messrs. Fields, Gastineau, Klecko, and Powell for the Jets. So it is 2nd and 10 from the 32. Todd with a lot of time, finally unloading to the right side. No good. It was intended for Lamb Jones, and had Mark Lee been able to hang on to it, he was off to the races.
Yeah, it'd have been the bye-bye Blues had he been able to make that interception, but the impressive thing that time was the fact that the Jets had all the time in the world to throw the ball that time. Talking about Todd, the pass protection was excellent.
So it is 3rd and 10. Mark Lee thinking of what might have been. He's a 2-year man out of Washington. Harper and Durking are now the running backs behind Todd. Lamb Jones left and Wesley Walker wide right. And Todd throwing and completing it to Lamb Jones at the 22, and Jones finally gets inside the 20 to about the 18-yard line. got away from Mike McCoy, who had to come back to get him.
It was a one-on-one, and Todd that time rolled a little bit to his left. A good outside move by Lamb Jones, who makes the reception and makes the defensive back McCoy miss the tackle, number 29, and for that reason he was able to pick up another 6 yards on the play.
So the ball is now on the Packers' 17-yard line. Remember, the Jets started this drive after the interception by Lance Mel on the Jets' 40-yard line, and they moved down to the Packers' 17 where they have it 1st and 10. McNeil and Newton are the running backs again behind Todd. Play action fake to Newton. Todd going in the end zone. Lamb Jones, touchdown.
Well, they were lucky that time. They had Lamb Jones and Wes Walker both flagged down on the play.
So there'll be a flag on the play. So call it back. The saddest of words. And they'll bring it back to the 28-yard line.
Offense. Number 72. Holding.
And they were really lucky on that play because of the reception, because Wesley Walker really and Lamb Jones were right there in the same spot. One BB would have got both of them. They were so close together.
So the man who was caught guilty of the infraction is the 4-year veteran Chris Ward. So it is back to 1st down. 1st and about 20. Kevin Long with McNeil on a wing. Todd has the pass deflected at the line of scrimmage. And we can take a look to see if it was big Mike Butler, who's the tallest man up front at 6'5".
Yeah, I think you're right, Ben. It was Butler, number 77. He rolls to his left, semi-roll, and tries to throw back across the other side of the field. Butler gets a piece of the ball, deflects it, and it falls incomplete.
So it is 2nd and 20 on the Packer 27-yard line. And Bobby Jones goes wide left. And Durking, and it's Durking, and he's got daylight. Durking down to the 15-yard line. Finally grabbed by Cumby, the linebacker who had to came over to pull him down.
It looked like it might have been a trap, but it wasn't. It looked like it was a trap, but it wasn't. Rasmussen, 66, does a good job of sealing the inside, and Durking, number 25, the fine halfback from Purdue University, pops through there for a big gain.
So 3rd down and 8 yards to go for the Jets. The ball is on the Packers' 16-yard line. Wesley Walker right, and they go slot left. Todd going to the right side, no good. The intended receiver was Wesley Walker, and the ball shot out of his grasp like it hit a spring.
You know what it did? It hit his shoulder pad. He didn't get a chance. He didn't get a chance to catch it in his hands. Anytime that happens and it hits the shoulder pads, it's going to bounce out just like it did. Todd back into the pocket. Watch his right foot. Throwing low to Wesley Walker. It hits the shoulder pad and bounces out.
So Pat Leahy with Ryan holding. The hold will be at the 23, so it's a 33-yard field goal attempt by Leahy. It is no good. So Pat Leahy, who was 25 out of 34 and had hit 20 of his last 24 field goal attempts, but he doesn't hit this one. And the Jets are on. Lynn Dickey got his club as far as the Jets' 36. That's the furthest penetration. Jefferson goes right, Lofton left, Kaufman in a flex as the tight end, and now in motion. Play action fake to Ellis, and the pass is complete to Jefferson at the 35-yard line, and Jefferson dropped at about the 36. And the man who hit him is that man, Jesse Johnson, they figured to pick on.
Yes, and Jesse Johnson is going to get a lot of business this afternoon. They're going to work on him. They've done so already. John Jefferson trying to get off the line of scrimmage, slipped and fell. The ball's thrown right at the numbers in front of Jesse Johnson, and I think anytime they have a one-on-one with him, they're going to try to get the ball out there to the receiver.
So 1st and 10 on the Packer 36 as Dickey picked up 16 yards with that pass. He'll go to Ellis, and Ellis Ellis drives for a couple to about the 38. You know, you're going to see a lot of number 27, Kenny Johnson. Not only is Johnson a safety who is playing corner, he also has a hyperextended knee, and they're asking him to cover one of the great tandems in NFL football, Lofton and Jefferson.
Well, you would think that the Jets would tell Green Bay about that so they wouldn't pick on him like they would.
The decent thing to do.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, Minnesota leading Kansas City 3-0 early in the first quarter. 2nd and 7. Kaufman in motion. The ball at the Packer 39. It's a draw to Ellis, but the middle was clogged up, and green shirts stop him at the 40-yard line. So they tried to open up the middle, but it wasn't open.
The mesh between a quarterback that time and Ellis was not very good. They bumped into each other on the draw play, and for that reason they didn't succeed in doing a better job than they did. Watch the mesh between the quarterback 12 and Ellis. There's a little confusion, a little indecision on the play. Ellis had enough composure to try to break outside. Didn't have much of a chance to do much as far as yardage is concerned, but did get the ball upfield and did the best he could on the play.
So about 3rd and 5.5 for the Pack. The ball on the Green Bay 40. Gary Lewis in motion as the tight end. Dickey has it intended for Jefferson, in and out of the hands of Jesse Johnson, and Greg Buttle also stuck a finger in the pie, number 51.
Here we see Jefferson trying to stop, under control. Buttle, anticipation is excellent, and almost came up with the interception. Great play by Greg Buttle, number 51.
So Ray Stachowicz standing on the Packer 25-yard line. Bruce Harper is standing on the Jets 20-yard line. Stachowicz hoping for a good snap, and there's Harper. Charlie Ani is the snapper for Green Bay, number 61. Slightly low snap and a lower line drive kick. Hits at the 30 and rolls out of bounds. Ron Cassidy was the wideout, number 88, down there to watch it as it went out of bounds. Friends, this telecast presented by authority of the National Football League, intended for the private use of our audience, and he with his club out of the eye. That's Freeman McNeil and Tom Newton, and Lamb Jones in motion to the left, where Wesley Walker is flanked wide. On the ground to Freeman McNeil, and McNeil bobbing and weaving, looking for daylight, and he got out to about the 33. Chicago leading Denver 7-3 in the second quarter. That was a pass from Vince Evans to Walter Payton for the touchdown.
You have to be very impressed with the quick feet of Freeman McNeil. You talk about happy feet. He's really got them.
And of course, he has had a bad foot. In fact, Walt Michaels was saying it might have been a break, that he's been rested the last couple of weeks, really primed for this. 2nd and 5 on the Jets 33. Straight ahead is Kevin Long, and he's out across the 35 to the 37-yard line. Long and Newton are in and out of the ball game. Newton, a 5-year man, as is Long. He has about a yard to go as you look at Mike Douglas. And now coming over is George Cumby, the linebacker on the right side. And Cumby coming out, so they're looking pass right now. Maurice Harvey along with Mark Murphy. Mark Lee. Start of the second quarter. 3rd and 1, Jets on their own 37-yard line. It'll be the second man, Durking, and Durking picks up the first down and gets out to the 41-yard line. So we've seen them all: McNeil, Harper, Durking, Newton, and Long.
You know, I went out to watch them practice the other day. Here's a good shot, running left. Unusual that they take the ball from the right side all the way over to the left side on a short yardage situation, but that's exactly what they did. Durking pops through the hole in good shape. Good blocking by Chris Ward, Rasmussen Fields, and the right guard, Dan Alexander.
There's a moment of concern, however. The New York Jets' Joe Klecko is in the dressing room having his foot x-rayed. 1st and 10 on the Jets' 41-yard line. It'll be Freeman McNeil, grabbed from behind. A good play by Mike Douglas, and he slithered away, as did the football. And let's see who recovered it. It's recovered by, well, indications are Green Bay. That's what it is. The Green Bay Packers recover. McNeil was hit from the side by Mike Douglas, tried to lunge forward, and the next thing you know, the football was loose. You're peering into the huddle like everybody else here in the stadium. Down at the bottom, among others, was Anderson and Cumbie and Harvey, 3 Packers.
Here we see McNeil again, a kind of a draw play, running to the right. He's got the ball in the left arm. Pressure comes from the inside. They knock the ball loose, and it's finally recovered there by, it looked like Maurice Harvey. Harvey, number 23.
1st and 10 on the Jets' 44-yard line for Lynn Dickey. Jefferson is right and Lofton left. It's Ellis and Huckleby, the running back. They'll stay on the ground with Harlan Huckleby, but the Jets nail him just about at the line of scrimmage at best. Time for another NFL update, and with that, let's go to Brent Musburger in New York.
Vinny, the Eagles have just struck again. Wilbert Montgomery from 9 yards out, and Philadelphia snapping back now with the pressure off. They want to host the wild card game next Sunday. Back to you and Shea.
Okay, Brent. Meanwhile, the Jets holding on to a 7-0 lead. It is 2nd and 9 for the Packers on the Jets' 43-yard line. Lofton right and Jefferson left. Kaufman, the tight end, is on the left side. And Dickey releasing to Huckleby, and Huckleby is at the 40, and it's knocked out of bounds by Jesse Johnson inside the 40 at the 38-yard line. So they picked up 5, and it'll be 3rd and 4.
Huckleby that time on a little swing pass to the outside, number 25. Dickey delivers the ball perfectly. That kind of a pass you want to throw about a yard out in front of the number of the receiving back. It was thrown exactly right, precisely right, and he made a nice gain on the play.
So 3rd and 4 on the 38-yard line of the Jets after a Freeman McNeil fumble recovered by Maurice Harvey of Green Bay. Dickey's going to send it up over the middle, and he has got Ellis coming out of the backfield, but not enough for the first down. Ellis is down at the 37. There's a flag on the play.
And I think Marty Lyons gave the quarterback an extra little shot there. Let's see what they call, but I think perhaps that's what happened.
Yes, it'll be definitely against the Jets. Automatic first down for the Packers to keep the drive alive. And they will spot it at the 22-yard line.
Defense, number 93, unsportsmanlike conduct, roughing the passer.
So Marty Lyons, who is perhaps the most emotional up front, guilty of roughing the passer, and it'll be 1st and 10 on the Jets 22. Marty out of Alabama, and Bear Bryant said he was the best lineman I've had.
And Kenny Neal is playing right in for the injured Joe Klecko, number 77.
Lofton left and Jefferson right as the pack trying to get even. Ellis and Huckleby in the backfield. Play action fake to Ellis, who blocks Gastineau, and the pass is to Huckleby, and the reception is made right about in just enough for a first down, I believe. Right now, let's have another update from Brent Musburger in New York.
Vinny, a development in Pontiac. The Lions have just gained the lead on Tampa Bay as Eric Hipple runs in from 9 yards out, his 7th rushing touchdown of the year. Back to you and Shea.
So the Green Bay Packers, capitalizing on a Freeman McNeil fumble and starting on the Jets 44, have 2nd and less than a yard. It was that close on that reception by Harlan Huckleby.
Looks like they might do something left.
Ball on the Jets 13-yard line as a play action fake, and then no, Ellis keeps the ball and they swallow him up. So Dickey giving to Ellis, and the Jets read it perfectly.
It looked like a draw play that time.
Yeah.
Unusual call on 2nd and short, but evidently, watch it now. Here we go back into the pocket with Dickey, giving the ball on a draw play to Ellis. And in that kind of a play, there was a seam straight ahead. You have to make a decision right or wrong. You have to take the seam and get as much out of the play as you could. That time you try to dance out of the trouble and lost yardage on the play.
So it's 3rd down and almost 3 for a first down. And again, they'll go to Ellis, and again, Ellis isn't going anywhere. And the New York Jets, fresh from a great goal line stand last week against Cleveland. The Browns had it 1st and goal on the 6, and they're just as tough out around their own 15.
Well, they're really coming off the ball very aggressively. and making something happen. And really what they're doing, they're just controlling the line of scrimmage.
So Jan Stenerud entering today's game with 303 career field goals. The hold will be by Ray Stakowicz. Stakowicz will spot the ball at the 21. So it is a 31-yard field goal for Stenerud, who is 21 out of 23 this year. The spot, the hold, the kick, it's up. The kick is good. So Stenerud, who was unhappy, Hank, about the condition of the field, calmly goes out and kicks one through.
Yeah, if there's a greater kicker in the league than Jan Stenerud.
The Jets, 11:50 left to the half. Stenerud ready to kick it off. You have Song and Harper from the 6 to the 15. Slowed down and dropped at the 20-yard line. The man who slowed him down was Cliff Lewis, number 56, the rookie out of Southern Mississippi. So Bruce Harper brings it out to the 20-yard line, and that's where the Jets will put it in play. 1st and 10.
You have to be impressed with the way the specialty team of the Green Bay Packers covered that kick. It was a low kick, got down very quickly, but they did a good job of covering on the play.
So 1st and 10 Jets. A full house, but they break it up now as Lofton goes in the slot inside Wesley Walker left. And Todd going up in the air. Over the middle to Newton. Newton is out across the 30, and there's a flag on the play as he is dropped at the 32-yard line by Rich Wingo. And it will be a holding penalty against the New York Jets.
Number 72, holding, 1st down.
Well, that's the 2nd time that Chris Ward has been caught.
Number 72, watch him. That's the 2nd time he's been caught holding. Chris Ward, the offensive left tackle, holding on the play.
So he had his hands full of Casey Merrill on that play, and it'll be 1st and 20. The ball back on the Jets' 10-yard line. Kevin Long and Freeman McNeil are the running backs. In motion is the tight end, Jerome Barkham. But they're going to pass it to McNeil. He's at the 10, 15, dropped at about the 17-yard line as John Anderson, number 59, made the tackle.
McNeil has to, he delays, goes into the flat. The ball is thrown a little bit behind him. And for that reason, he's off stride, does not get up the field as quickly as he normally would have had the ball been thrown properly, but still he makes a fine play, a good gain on the play, and is finally tackled there by John Anderson, number 59.
So that's 2nd and 11 on the Jets' 19. Lamb Jones going wide right. Wesley Walker, a split end on the left side. And in motion goes Newton. It's a draw to Freeman McNeil, but it was read by Mike Douglas, number 53, and Douglas broke through to trip him up. Good play by the linebacker coming in on the right side.
53, Mike Douglas was blitzing on the play, and watching come from the outside. Number 53 in good position, low, gets the tackle, and on Freeman McNeil, and nails him in the backfield for about a yard loss.
Mike Douglas was last year's Green Bay's most valuable defensive player, and he comes up with a valuable play as other Packers think something else is very valuable. 3rd and 12 from the 18 of New York. Todd over the middle to Wesley Walker at the 35-yard line. Mike McCoy brings him down. 1st down, New York.
Watching him off the line of scrimmage, Wesley Walker, number 85, makes a little move inside, a little wiggle, breaks to the inside. McCoy, number 21, trying to close in. He does so, but not until after he makes the reception. 1st down, New York Jets.
We have 9 minutes and 36 seconds to the half. Wesley Walker's been out with an injured calf for 3 weeks, so of course a very valuable weapon now to be used by Richard Todd. 1st and 10 on the Jets' 35. Freeman McNeil butting head and maybe picked up 2 yards.
One thing very obvious as you watch the two teams play, the Green Bay Packers are not putting any pressure whatsoever on the quarterback, Dick Todd.
9 minutes and 9 seconds to the half. 7-3. The Jets leading Green Bay. The Jets blocking a punt by Ray Stachowicz after a poor snap from center. They cashed it in. Green Bay recovering a fumble by Freeman McNeil. Eventually had a field goal by Stenerud. Go to 2nd and 7. It would appear as if it was intended for Freeman McNeil coming out of the backfield, but it sailed high over his head and harmlessly hit the frozen ground.
And he threw that ball poorly that time because Mike Douglas, number 53, was blitzing on the play and got just a little piece of the quarterback, Richard Todd, as he delivered the football.
So that makes it 3rd and 7 for the New York Jets on their own 38-yard line.
And Green Bay's got 4 defensive linemen in the contest at this stage with trying to put more pressure on the quarterback.
Lamb and Walker go right, and Durking is now in the backfield. And both Durking and Harper release. The pass is caught by the tight end Jerome Barkham as he crossed the 45, and he will pick up the first down as he is dropped at the 47-yard line.
Here again, the outside people, Johnson, number 90 specifically, and Butler are run right by the quarterback. He's got all the time in the world, delivers the ball beautifully to Barkham, who makes sure he does first things first, follows an orderly process, looks the ball into his hands, makes the reception. First down, New York Jets.
Remember, the Jets started on their own 20. They were penalized back to their 10. So really from their own 10, they've moved the ball out to their 47, and they have it 1st and 10. Rather impressive numbers and a high rent district cash for Jerome Barkham.
And the way the defensive ends are coming up the field, the draw play is going to be very effective somewhere along the line.
Todd is going to release a little swing to Harper, but right there with him was big Mike Butler. So had Harper made the reception, I think Butler would have served more than T.
Boy. He just served him right in the platter, right in the backfield that time. And Butler is 6'5", 265, played his collegiate football at the University of Kansas.
So it'll be 2nd and 10 on the Jets 47. Here's Kevin Long coming in again. We've seen all 5 of the running backs, McNeil, Harper, Durking, Newton, and Long. So Kevin Long is in there with Freeman McNeil on a 2nd and 10 from the 47 of the Jets. At the last moment by Mark Murphy, number 37, and there's a flag on the play.
And that time he tried to throw deep that time, and he kept both backs in the backfield to make sure he had maximum security on the play. He had plenty of time to throw the ball, tried to throw the ball deep downfield to Lamb Jones if there's a penalty on the play.
The preliminary signal, it is against Green Bay, much to the delight of the sellout crowd at Shea. Here's Fred Silva.
Holding, defense, number 59. First down.
Holding charge against John Anderson, the linebacker on the left side. So the Jets picking up a first down on the Packer 47. And look what Philadelphia is doing now. An 18-yard run by Hubie Oliver makes it 21-0 over St. Louis. 1st and 10 from the Packer 47. To Durking, and Durking grabbed by Butler and then belted by Wingo, and out he goes.
You know, I went out to practice the other day, talked to the coaches, Walt Michaels and Jim Royer, the director of player personnel for pro scouting, and he talked about the offensive backs of the Jets, Harper, Long, Durking, Newton, all of whom they have great respect for. They don't care who they play because they're all the same kind of backs. They dance every dance. They give you 100% all the time. They're steady, dependable. They're good blockers, and that's why they interchange them as much as they do.
We have 7:39 left of the half with the Jets leading 7-3. Walker and Lamb in a slot left. Cumby flaking a blitz, and here comes McNeil, and he gets across the 45-yard line. So Freeman McNeil, as Walt Michaels looks on.
Cumby that time was going to blitz, trying to anticipate the count. Richard Todd did a good job of changing the rhythm. He did not go in the same rhythm as he did the previous play, and for that reason he caught him off balance a little bit, and they were able to do a good job of coming off the ball and picking up good yardage on the play.
So it's 3rd and 6 for the Jets. The ball is on the Packer 43-yard line. 7 minutes and 3 seconds of the half as you see Zeke Bratkowski on the left talking upstairs. Now Richard Todd getting a timeout after a little discussion with Fred Silva. So with 6 minutes in the huddle on a 3rd and 6 from the 44-yard line. Wesley Walker, number 85, coming left. Derek Gaffney is in a slot, and Lamb Jones is wide right.
The outside receivers have a lot of room.
Bruce Harper leaving the backfield, and the pass is to Harper at the 35, and he fumbles, and it is picked up by Green Bay, and it was picked up by Estes Hood, number 38, but it might have been whistled dead. Yep. Estes Hood fell on the ball. Let's take another look. They're going to give it back to the Jets.
They're very concerned about the outside receivers as a stunt inside. And he dumps the ball off inside to Harper, number 42. Watch, all the time in the world to throw the ball. Delivers the ball to Harper, who makes the reception. Stops. The defensive player overruns him. Harvey cuts back to the inside. He's hit. The ball is fumbled. But they give it back to the Jets.
1st and 10 on the 30-yard line. Freeman McNeil grabbed by the ankles by Mike Douglas and by the head Casey Merrill and Rich Wingo. And with that, another NFL update. We'll go to Brent Musburger in New York.
Vinny, here's that Hubert Oliver touchdown for the Eagles, and now St. Louis has mailed its season in, so it means more than ever the Giants are dependent now on the Jets beating the Packers to get into the playoffs. Back to you and Shea.
Okay, Brent, that just adds more to this New York story where the Giants at home after their big win yesterday now rooting for the Jets. It is 2nd and 8 on the Packer 28-yard line. Todd looking left and throwing over there. He's got Lamb Jones, and Lamb Jones is brought down by Mike McCoy at the Packer 21-yard line.
Here he comes off the line of scrimmage. Breaking a move to the outside. Mike McCoy is covering man for man, closes in, but a little late, and doesn't make the play until after Lamb Jones makes the reception and another very close to the first down.
Not quite enough, however. 3rd down and a little less than a yard to go for the Jets. Remember, they started on their own 20. They were penalized to their own 10, and then they got it in gear. And here they are, 3rd and 1 on the 21. Long for the first down inside the 20 to the 19-yard line.
And we find out that Klecko has a sprained foot. He may or may not return. We're not quite sure yet.
So Kevin Long picks up the first down. He was the first 1,000-yard rusher in the history of South Carolina. 5-year man who was a 7th-round draft choice 4 years ago by the New York Jets. 1st and 10. Ball just across the Packer 20-yard line. 7-3 in favor of the Jets. 4 minutes and 22 seconds to the half. Freeman McNeil and Newton, the running backs. Play action fake to McNeil. And Todd now releasing to Newton, who can't make the reception. And he might have been looking at Rich Wingo, who was right there ready to lower the boom.
He tries to hit Newton that time from a play action fake into the right flat. Good fake on the play, but the ball is not complete and winds up being 2nd and long.
Tom Newton, of course, in his days at the University of California, his reputation was a blocking back for Chuck Muncie, but he's done a great job in the backfield for the Jets. 2nd and 10 from the Packer 20-yard line. And it's Kevin Long. To the 11-yard line and is finally stopped at about the 10. Kevin Long bursting through, and that should be just about enough. We'll have to check and see. Not quite. Less than a yard again. A half a yard for a first down.
Joe Fields, the offensive center, does a good job of blocking Terry Jones, number 63. They go straight ahead. The surge by the right guard, Alexander, and Rasmussen was excellent, and for that reason he was able to pop through there for a big game.
The ball is just shy of the 10-yard line. They have to cross it for the first down. And Durking crossed it, I believe, to pick up the first down. So Scott Durking, who was second in his career rushing to the great Otis Armstrong at Purdue. Durking, not a flashy back. They call him the Coke machine, the way he's built. He's 5'10", 220 pounds.
Yeah, he's very sturdy, very strong, and has excellent balance.
So they're coming in now, Freeman McNeil, a fresh back, and it is first and goal on the Packer 9. McNeil and Newton are behind Todd. Walker is wide left, joined by Lamb Jones. Todd pitching to McNeil. He's got Alexander and Barkham, but they can't block. And grabbing him was John Anderson, number 59. He did a good job as both Alexander and Barkham were trying to pull the block for him.
Yeah, John Anderson, number 59, the left linebacker, really does a super job of playing the tight end.
John Anderson, by the way, has had his left arm broken 3 times. You might notice a protective device on that left arm. He even had a bone graft from his hip to the arm. So indeed he wants to play after going through all that pain. So it is second and goal from about the 10. Todd low to his man Durking, and Durking at the 5 and has dropped at the 3. Scott Durking making the reception, and then on his own picking up about 6 yards.
And he does a very smart thing. He has good anticipation here. He makes the catch. He figures that the defense is going to come from the inside out, perhaps maybe overrun the play. He turns to the inside, and gets away from the defensive linebacker.
John Anderson.
Anderson again that time, and gets up the field and picks up about 4 or 5 extra yardage on the anticipation of the play.
So with exactly 2 minutes in a lift, they get it. There is Joe Klecko. He had his foot x-rayed in the dressing room, and apparently he is fit and ready to return to the war. Meanwhile, it is third and goal from the 3. Durking and Harper in the backfield behind Todd.
Looks like something right, perhaps.
They're going to go with Harper. Touchdown. Bruce Harper's 4th touchdown of the year rushing.
And Rasmussen and Fields and Alexander all do a good job of blowing him off the ball again.
A flag on the kick. So let's wait a minute. The kick was good, but a flag on the play. Offsides against Green Bay. So the point is good. And it is 14-3 Jets. 20 plays. Remember, they started on their own 20. Then they were penalized to their own 10. And they went on to go 90 yards for the touchdown. Although officially they'll be credited with 80. Harper bangs it over. Pat Leahy kicking low and hard to the right side. Juggled by Mike McCoy. And he's still going to run it out. Oh, my goodness. What a gamble by McCoy.
It really wasn't a gamble. It was just a bad play, Ben.
Gee whiz.
He evidently did not know where he was. I don't know why in the world, after fumbling the ball, he wouldn't just keep it in the end zone. Instead, he elected to try to run it out. And he gets nailed right about the 5-yard line.
And the man who nailed him, who was so excited going off the field, was Marty Wetzel, the rookie out of Tulane. So a bad play. That's about the only thing you could call it for Mike McCoy. And for Bart Starr, who has already seen the Packers have so much trouble moving the ball, they start on their own 5-yard line. And Joe Klecko returns to the Wars on the right side. First and 10 from the 5. It'll be Ellis. And Ellis bangs it out to about the 9-yard line. A tough purchase of 4 yards for Jerry Ellis.
On the tackle.
Ellis, you know, among other things, file it away, and certainly not now in this field position, but he has thrown the ball twice. We might think about that much later in the game.
And he's caught 61 passes.
Here's a little one to Ellis, and and he's going to be ridden out of bounds. Right there with him was Greg Buttle when he made the reception. Meanwhile, a very big game in Detroit, and look at that. The Lions, who haven't lost at home, have been stung. An 84-yard pass from Doug Williams to Kevin House, and Tampa on top 10-7 in the second quarter. .127 to the half. The Packers have it on their own 8-yard line. So it is 3rd and 7. Ellis and Huckleby behind Lynn Dickey. And Dickey will send it up under a pressure, and let's see, very close. They're going to put it inside the 1-yard line. Very close for the safety.
Flag down on the play, and I think Joe Klecko was offside, the defensive right end. I'm not sure, but it looked like maybe Joe was offside.
So Lynn Dickey swallowed up inside the 1, but instead the New York Sack Exchange, which is very much in business today, but this time guilty of the offside. That'll move the ball out to the 16.
Offside, 7-3. Defense, 3rd down.
Klecko with 19, Gastineau with 18. Those are some of the individual making up the Sack Exchange. Remember, they came in with 57. Oakland back in 1967 had 67 sacks. That's the most. But Klecko is in business. 3rd and 3. The ball on the 13-yard line. A fumble by Dickey, and he dropped on it. So Lynn Dickey having a lot of trouble getting out of the starting gate.
Yeah, another bad. It's the second time that's happened between he and McCarron, the offensive center. You can't tell whether he's backing out of there too quickly or whether there's got to be something wrong, but it's got to be the responsibility of the center to make sure he gets that ball up properly to the quarterback.
And, of course, you remember that Charlie Ani, who does the snapping, snapped one in the dirt that was eventually blocked and led to the Jets' first touchdown. So the Packers having trouble right in the middle. Of course, that's the unsung position of a football team anyway.
Yeah, it really is. It surely is.
So it is 4th and 3. The ball at the 12-yard line of the Packers.
The sad thing about it is the only time he gets any notification of any kind is when he makes a bad play.
Yeah, when was the last time you came to a ballpark and heard somebody say, "Great snap"?
Yeah, that's right.
So on a 4th down, 4th and 3, Ray Stackowitz, the rookie out of Michigan State, who's averaged 40 yards a punt and his longest 72 this year. Stackowitz will be punting, and Bruce Harper standing at midfield for the Jets. We have 1 minute and 18 seconds to the half. Sohn, Lynn, and Dykes are going to put pressure coming in on the left side. And Whitaker is the wideout trying to get downfield to get at Harper. Stackowitz got it away, and Harper retreating to his 40-yard line, turned at his own 38, and the white shirts will bury him at about the 45.
Well, I tell you, Stackowitz pummeled that ball that time.
That's Durking taking the pass from Richard Todd across midfield, finally brought down by Estes Hood at the Packer 47-yard line. The Jets not huddling with 51 seconds. They would have gone to board one more time before halftime. Todd deep down the right side to Lamb Jones. He's gone.
Semi-roll to the right side. Good protection. He delivers the ball right on the money to Lamb Jones, who runs right by Mark Lee. Right over the top. A beautiful thrown ball. Makes the reception. Touchdown. New York Jets.
And Leahy puts the seal of approval on it. So the New York Jets have Pat Leahy bang it through, and they're sitting on top of the world 21-3. The New York Jets leading Green Bay 21-3 with 42 seconds to the half. Leahy kicking high but short, and it'll be handled by Mike McCoy at the 13, to the 25, to the 26-yard line, and McCoy is jammed there with 37 seconds to the half. Bart Starr, of course, still trying to get over the ill effects of that bad play by Mike McCoy. Gave them no field position. Then Stachowicz punted, and immediately Richard Todd connected for the 55-yard touchdown pass to beat Lamb Jones. The last time Starr came to New York when it really meant something was December 20th, 1962, when Green Bay beat the Giants 16-7 in the National Football League championship game. In 1962, the other New York team was the New York Titans. First and 10 from the 27 for Dickey. He loses the ball, and Green Bay recovered. And Mark Gastineau going wild. Gastineau, who once in training camp, they tell us, tore a face mask completely off a rookie's helmet with his bare hands, is the most emotional of all the Jets, and he just showed it. Gastineau earlier, when he made his 19th sack, tied Jerry Philbin. And look at Gastineau as time has run out. Came back with 14 in the second quarter, and they are leading handily 21-3. And Richard Todd has had a reasonably good day. It has not been at all. Stenerud kicks it off, a low kick. Bruce Harper makes the reception at the 12, to the 20, 25, and hit and dropped it about the 26-yard line, and that's where the Jets will put it in play, first and 10. And Wetzel, that's the middle linebacker, Marty Wetzel, a rookie from Tulane, banged up. You might remember the emotional play he made on the tackle of Mike McCoy on the fumble kickoff. Here are the numbers for the first half, and the total yardage, of course, 4 times as much for the Jets over the Pack.
We talked about it earlier, and of course the stats illustrate what we just said about the New York Jets dominating the game from an offensive standpoint and defensive standpoint, and they're doing it with their front 4 on defense and their front 5 on the offense. The offensive line of Chris Ward, Rasmussen, Fields, Alexander, and Powell have really done a super job here in the first half.
Powell and Ward, the tackles, are referred to by Walt Michaels as his bookends. Ward has been here 4 years and Powell 5. Powell made All-Pro this year, and Michaels said they're bookends that should be here for 10 years. Meanwhile, in the middle is an All-Pro, Joe Fields, flanked by the veteran, number 66, Randy Rasmussen. Rasmussen, 15 years with the club. Joe Klecko, who has had a bruised foot, hurt it and left early in the first half to have it x-rayed, but then returned and rejoined the game. He was right in the middle of things when time ran out. So Klecko as well, and Marty Wetzel banged up on that kickoff. Here's a comparison of the quarterbacks, Hank.
Yeah, Dickey's completed 5 of 11 for just 47 yards, and Richard Todd 9 of 17 for 130 yards. And of course the big strike to Lamb Jones right before the half, a beautiful play, a long strike right down the sideline over the top with the defensive back Mark Lee, and it looked like Mark Lee mistimed the jump a little bit prematurely, and that's why the ball was able to sail over his head like it did.
Marty Wetzel, small consolation to him, the plaudits of the crowd, but better than that, he got some applause and a pat on the back from his teammates. Richard Todd came over to holler something to him. The rookie bangs his left knee and has to leave. The Jets with a lot of work to do. It's the start of the second half. First and 10 on the Jets 26, and they lead 21-3. Newton and McNeil, the running backs. Lamb is right and Walker is left. And it'll be Tom Newton. And Newton carries out to about the 30-yard line, maybe to the 31. He'll have to get out to the 36. Meanwhile, New Orleans leading San Francisco 14-7. George Rogers having a big day, and we understand Rogers is on his way, if he has not already broken Otis Anderson's rookie mark of rushing last year.
Second and 6.
There's Mark Gastineau, the left end of the sack exchange. From the 30-yard line, Todd on a second down. Second and 6, and it's knocked down, and it was Mike Douglas, number 53, who went up in the air to hammer it down.
And it looked like Douglas was blitzing on the play, and in the process made a leaping attempt and knocked the ball down. A good play by Mike Douglas, number 53, who came into the game with 8 sacks.
Douglas is an even 6, so he really had to climb a ladder to get up there, but he did. They'll spot the ball again at the 30, where it is 3rd down and 6 yards to go for New York. Lamb Jones and Wesley Walker in a slot left. Both backs release. Todd on his own, and he has plenty of time, and he throws behind Harper and Mike Douglas right there. So Bruce Harper had a lead on Douglas. Dickey, and for Richard Todd, he couldn't get there.
Yeah, Mike Douglas was going back into the hook area, number 53, never saw where the ball was coming from, and actually the ball hit him in the shoulder pads, hit him in the back. Look at all the time he has to throw the ball, delivers it downfield, hits him in the back. Really didn't hit him in the back, almost hit him right in the face.
Right. So on a 4th and 6 from the 30, Chuck Ramsey will be punting for New York. Mark Lee and Fred Nixon are deep for Green Bay. And it's a high popped up punt that will hit on the 40 and be picked up by Nixon, who is hit as he touched the ball. And let's see who recovered it. It's going to be New York. Fred Nixon muffed that. He never really had any kind of control or possession. And coming out of the bottom of that pile with the ball is John Woodring, a rookie out of Brown, number 57.
He really never has control. He gets hit right about the time he's trying to bring the ball back into his possession, and fumbles the ball, loses it, and the Jets have possession on the plus 35.
So 1st and 10 on the Packer 35. So actually they just picked up from their own 30 to the Packer 35 on that play. 1st and 10. Todd looking left and throwing low behind Wesley Walker. Among other things, it's pretty tough to get a grip on the football now in the second half. The field in shadow, and remember, it was 26 degrees when the game started.
It looked like Todd really kind of hurried himself that time. He tried to get the ball outside on a square out pattern to Walker, number 85, but I think threw it prematurely, and for that reason really wasn't set. Didn't throw with his legs that time as well as his follow through, and threw it poorly on the play.
And you can see the 49ers have tied it up with New Orleans. Meanwhile, it is 2nd and 10 on the Packer 35. And it's a draw. Freeman McNeil inside the 30. Finally collared at the last minute by Terry Jones. And he drives inside the 30 to the 28-yard line. That'll make it 3rd and 3 from the 28.
The Jets have really had more of an opportunity to open up their attack because they've had much better field position than the Green Bay Packers, and they're doing a good job of mixing the run and the pass and moving the football against Green Bay.
Bruce Harper comes in there now along with Durking. As you can see, Chicago leading 21-3. 3rd and 3 from the 28. And it'll be Durking. And Durking going to be stacked up at about the 25. Not quite enough for the first down. He needs less than a yard. So it'll be 4th down and less than a yard by the time they unscramble.
That was kind of a counter play, a misdirection play. It looked like they were trying to sell the defense on the idea they were going to go right. Gave the ball to Durking coming back to the left side, and he's just inches short of the first down.
So it is 4th and less than a yard at the 25, and the crowd roars when the running backs come in. Pat Leahy stands on the sidelines. Durking and Long are the running backs out of the eye. And on a sneak, Richard Todd, 1st down. That's the 30th time that Todd has carried the ball this year. So Pat Leahy can relax for a little while on the sidelines as the Jets pick up a first down on the Packer 23.
Well, did you see the big surge that time right up the middle again for Richard Todd to carry the quarterback sneak? That offensive line has really been outstanding.
All he had to do is to follow Joe Fields and Dan Alexander, and the first down was his. First and 10 from the 23. Play action fake by Todd. Going in the end zone to Wesley Walker. No good. Wesley Walker couldn't hold on to it.
Watch Walker. He releases off the line of scrimmage. McCoy is covering. He makes a little move to the outside. Outside, does a little step, and then breaks up the field. The ball is thrown inside. He kind of stops to come back for the ball. I don't know how he dropped it, but he did. The ball was right on the money. It just looked like it went right on through and falls incomplete.
Wesley Walker has caught 8 touchdown passes this year, so it is second and 10 from the 23.
They double cover the outside people. If they throw, the tight end or a back should be open.
Long is releasing, and Todd deep in the end zone, no good. In fact, the closest man to it was Mark Murphy, who's already had 1 interception today for Green Bay. Third and 10 from the 23.
Well, he got the ball in the right area. They were double covering the outside receivers that were very deep. The vulnerable area was the middle, but he didn't throw it well enough for Harper to make the catch.
As far as the running game is concerned, Freeman McNeil has averaged 4 yards a carry, 13 carries for 52 yards. Todd has thrown the ball 22 times, and he has it third and 10 from the 23. Bruce Harper all alone in the backfield now, with Gaffney and Walker left, Lamb Jones right. And he's going to Lamb Jones, no reception. Jones, you remember, was at the other end of that picture book 55-yard touchdown pass near the end of the second quarter. And now Pat Leahy will be called in. Leahy has missed a 33-yard field goal effort today. He's 20 of his last 25, however.
John Anderson, the left linebacker, that time number 59, really did a good job of getting depth on the play and helped on the coverage underneath.
Pat Ryan holding at the 30, and the 40-yard field goal attempt is up and never gets there. In fact, his longest was 49. So Pat Leahy, cold hands and a cold foot on that one. Philadelphia has already clinched a wild card, and they are breezing. And of course, it'll go right on through to that big day for Super Bowl 16 at the Silver Dome in Pontiac, Michigan. All here on CBS Sports. Holy mackerel, is he warm. First and 10 on the Packer 23-yard line. Ellis and Huckleby behind Dickey. And Dickey's going to release it to Ellis. Nobody out there to help him but green shirts, and they knock him out of bounds at the 34-yard line. Just about enough for the first down. So Dickey picking up his first down. Trying to generate some kind of an offense. You can see the numbers. He hasn't had many cards to deal today.
One thing he has to do, he has to be very patient and take what the defense gives him, move the ball down the field. There's plenty of time, but he's got to make something happen.
Well, they picked up 11, first and 10 from the 34. And Dickey going to release to Ellis, going the other side this time, and Ellis to the 40, and his push got out of bounds by Greg Buttle, almost at the 45-yard line. We talked about Philadelphia, the definite wild card team. Let's check and see what they're doing. Boy, they're pulling the tail feathers out of the Cardinals, 28-0 in the third quarter. Ball out at the 43-yard line of the Pack. So it is second down and about a yard and a half for a first down. Huckleby is behind Ellis. Jefferson right and Lofton left. And Dickey is going to go to Ellis. What a hit. And the man who hit him is Abdul Salam, number 74. That name in Arabic translates into soldier of peace. But boy, there was nothing peaceful about that hit, Hank.
No, there really wasn't. And I don't think people have the understanding of what a great job those two inside people, the right tackle and left tackle, Salam and Lyons, both of whom are excellent defensive tackles, put a lot of inside pressure on the rush. And for that reason, Gastineau and Klecko have a better opportunity on the outside. But those two tackles really do a good job.
So it is 3rd and 1 from the 43, almost the 44. They need inches, really, for a first down. They'll go to Ellis, and he slips through. It looked like they were going to stack him up, and he lowered his head and got through to pick up the first down as he crossed the 45-yard line. They'll spot it at the 46.
I really don't know how he got through that seam that time. It looked like they stacked him up pretty well, but he did a good job of running and popped through there for the necessary yardage for the first down. Good job by the left tackle, Konkar. Kitson also doing a pretty good job, but he did a good job of running, just read the block and popped inside the seam.
You know, Honkar was out with a hyperextended knee, but he's back in there and is just through a good block. And Dickey throwing down the middle, intended for Paul Kaufman, and Greg Buttle was right there with him. So the big tight end shut out on that one.
Greg Buttle.
There's the pressure again. You see Gastineau going inside, getting caught inside. He throws the ball right down the middle in a beautiful play. A beautiful play by Buttle, number 51.
There's Mark Gastineau. He and Joe Klecko are the ends, with Salam and Lyons in the middle of the New York sack exchange. 2nd and 10 on the Packer 46. And Dickey's going to be swallowed up at the 40-yard line, and look at Gastineau again. Marty Lyons, number 93, appeared to be the man who's going to get credit for the sack. Lyons, number 93, by the way, was such a good athlete. He was All-State in baseball. The New York Mets were interested in him, but instead he winds up with the Jets. He's still pitching. So it's 3rd and 16 from the 40-yard line. Dickey's going down again.
They've got to, they must. I'm talking about Green Bay. They've got to slow the rush down. They've got to run some traps. They ran a trap early in the game, made good yardage on it. They haven't come back to it since that time. They've got to run some screens. They've got to run some draws, but they can't continually go back into the pocket because they just can't take care of that defensive line. The surge has been outstanding for the New York Jets.
Joe Klecko limping slightly. He's playing on a bad foot. Ray Stakowicz punting from his own 20-yard line, and Bruce Harper is standing back on the Jets' 25-yard line. So the Packers have been thoroughly shut down by the New York defense. They have picked up only 3 points. Stakowicz gets it away. It's going to hit the ground in front of Harper. He'll take it at the 25. And Harper is tripped up, and a flag on the play. The man I think who tripped him is Darrell Ray, number 28, his own man. Ray was trying to come back and help out and block, and it said he tripped him, and we'll see about the interpretation of the flag from Fred Silva.
And I think the clip really, I thought Al Washington possibly was involved in it too, Ben. We'll see what they call.
Okay. We have a moment, Hank. Do you think that the Pack has any kind of a spread formation or a shotgun to try and slow down the defensive rush of New York?
Well, that won't slow it down very much. I think when you go into the spread formation, Ben, you better have a quarterback back there who can move by design, has good escapability skill. Dickey does not have that ability, and it wouldn't
52
be
on the run back, blocking above the waist, refused. 77, personal foul, post possession, accepted.
So you had Al Washington flipping as the ball was still in the air, and then you had a post-possession foul against Kenny Neal. The penalty before the change of possession is declined, and the post-possession foul is accepted. So the Jets are pushed back to their own 14-yard line with the Jets 13. And it'll be Tom Newton, and Newton running into people at the 15-yard line. Chicago leading Denver 21-10 in the third quarter. The time left in ours plenty. 8 minutes 11 seconds left in the third as we look inside the Green Bay defensive huddle, particularly Mike Douglas. 2nd and 7 from the 16-yard line. And they'll go to Kevin Long. And Long cutting back on his own, still on his feet, and out to the 29-yard line. Great cutback play by Kevin Long to pick up additional yardage. First down.
He does a good job. The defense overreacts, over pursues. Watch the good blocking at the point of attack on the backside. Goes against the grain, does a good job of running, runs right through number 23 Harvey, and picks up a gain and a first down on the play. Beautiful job by Kevin Long.
On the Jets 29 now, you have Derek Gaffney coming over into a slot left to join Wesley Walker on that side. They stay on the ground to Kevin Long, and this time he gets back to the line of scrimmage and picks up a yard or two at most. An interesting game of two clubs who just can't wait for the year to be over. New England and Baltimore, and New England leading Baltimore 14-10 in the second quarter.
Boy, both could feel sorry for both coaches because really their teams are not that bad. They just have had a tough time all season long. Tough way to finish.
So from the 31, it is 2nd and 8. Walker left and Lamb Jones right. Todd throwing low, and a good reception made by Bruce Harper at the 35-yard line. Kurt Alleman, number 60, tried to take a swipe at the ball, but Harper stayed with it.
Walker is occupying a halfback position, number 42, coming out of the backfield. He comes into the game with a lot of catches. Here again, look at all the time he has to throw the football. The ball is thrown a little bit low, but he makes the catch. Bruce Harper, number 42.
He went to high school with John Travolta. With a couple of games like this, Travolta will be saying he went to high school with Harper.
Yeah.
So it is 3rd and 3 from the 36. And Todd just gets it away to Harper. And Harper dragged down at the 48-yard line by John Anderson. So Bruce Harper from Englewood, New Jersey, having a big day over here at Shea.
And he came into the game with 49 catches, and he's doing a good job of catching them again this afternoon.
So he carries it out to the Jets' 48-yard line. Remember, because of the penalty, the Jets started on their own 13. But the Jets have been able to hold the ball against Green Bay. One of their scoring drives took 20 plays from their own 10-yard line. Lamb Jones and Wesley Walker on the left. Second man, Freeman McNeil, tries to hide and get through, but the Packers pick him off.
Walker and Jones anchored on the left side that time in a slot formation, had 1-for-1 coverage, had a big cushion, a lot of room. If they have the same defense, they would not be surprised to see him throw the ball back over here because they should be able to make some yardage on the play.
So on a 2nd and 10 from the Jets 48, here come Walker and Lamb Jones again. Todd, however, going to Freeman McNeil, and McNeil to the 40 and goes to the 36. Mark Murphy had him by the ankle, or he was going to fly for another 20 or maybe even go all the way.
You know, that time they had 3-on-2 on the outside people. Look at Rasmussen pulling on the play. A beautiful hole. Number 33, Kevin Long, going through the hole. Good running by McNeil. Sees daylight, goes through the cavity, goes through a pile, comes out the other end, and makes another big first down for the New York Jets.
He picked up 16 yards on the carry, and the Jets have it 1st and 10 on the Packer 36-yard line. Jones and Walker in a slot right this time.
Look at the room on the right side.
And Todd is going to go over there to Wesley Walker, and he can't hold on to it. Mark Lee gives him a good bump, and he can't hold on. Mark Lee from a big family, 6 brothers and 5 sisters, so you know how to elbow his way.
He got to fight his way to the table.
So it is 2nd and 10 from the 36. The Jets leading 21-3, 3:39 left in the 3rd quarter. Walker and Jones going right this time. Kevin Long and Bruce Harper, and Harper grabbed from behind by Cumbie and from the ankles by Douglas, and that's the end of that trip.
Kevin Long, number 33, trying to make a block, missed the block on the play, and for that reason, Harper was not able to make as much yardage as he would have.
So it is 3rd and 10 from the 36-yard line of Green Bay. 21-3 New York. 3:14. It's been a hard day for Mike Douglas and the rest of the Packer defensive squad, but the offense just hasn't given them anything to work with. 3rd and 10 from the 36 of Green Bay.
Got another situation where something in the middle or one of the backs should be open.
Both backs release. The pass to the right side is overthrown, intended for Bruce Harper, with Mike Douglas picking him up.
Harper's got an option. He has an option to run an inside course or an outside course, depending on how the linebacker plays. That time he elected to go outside. He was really wide open. The ball was thrown way out in front, incomplete. But that's what his responsibility is on that play.
Chuck Ramsey is number 1 in the AFC in kicking the ball out of bounds inside the 20. In fact, he has kicked 26 of his 77 punts inside the 20. That's exactly what he wants to do right now. In case you're wondering, Craig Colquitt tied with him, and Cliff Parsons is the leader.
He's on the right hand. Oh, excuse me, Ren. Go ahead.
I was going to say Lee and Nixon are the deep men. Go ahead, Hank.
He's on the right hash mark, and if he tries to kick the ball out of bounds, he ought to try to kick it to his left. Or he might try to kick it up in the air, hit an elevator ball, and hope that it'll be down inside the 10-yard line.
Well, we see now Randy Scott talking to Fred Silva. It might very well be a delay of game penalty, and they're going to decline it. That's what it looks like. They're just saying, shall we turn it down or not?
Delay. New York. Yardage. Refuse.
The Packers, of course, trying to cut down the real estate, making that OB kick a little bit tougher rather than giving the luxury. But look now where Ramsey is backing up anyway. He's going to be kicking from his own 47. Mark Lee, 22. Fred Nixon, 84, standing back on the Packer 10.
And they're standing there for a specific reason. They know if the ball comes right to them at that area, they'll catch it. If not, they'll let it bounce into the end zone, hopefully.
And Ramsey from midfield without a shoe. And he kicks it deep, and it is going to hit and go in the end zone. So Ramsey, who started kicking without a shoe in 1979, could not kick a poached egg. Instead, it goes on into the end zone, and the Packers will take it over 1st and 10 on their own 20-yard line. His team in NFL history. And for the Packers, trying to generate something now. 1st and 10 from their own 20-yard line. Huckabee and Ellis are behind Lynn Dickey. Kaufman, the tight end, as a wing, staying in the block. They're going to throw to Kaufman, and he's grabbed by Salam. And then Gastineau, and that'll be that.
Good response again by the defense of the New York Jets. Gastineau coming on the inside, dumps the ball out to the tight end, Kaufman, but a good response there again by Salam, who makes the play.
So on a pass to the tight end, they actually lose 6.5 yards. The ball is back on at the 12-yard line. Dickey down the middle, and it's too low for Lofton to make the reception. And sliding in just in case was Lance Mel. Dickey now has completed 8 for 16 for 59 yards, 1 interception. He's been sacked 5 times and has been throwing like a man under the gun.
put a lot of pressure on him. He doesn't have enough time really to anchor, to set up, and then step and throw. He's throwing some of the balls falling away. The footing has not been very good for him either. He seemed to be insecure as far as the footwork is concerned, and for that reason, he hasn't thrown well.
So on a 3rd and 18 from the 12, Huckleby and Ellis. Dickey over the middle, no good. Paul Kaufman, and it was Greg Buttle again, number 51, right there to defend. And a thoroughly frustrated Bart Starr looks on.
And of course, the Jets have been playing with 5 defensive backs.
And now Marty Lyons, along with Gastineau and other members of the Sack Exchange, go over and take a moment's respite. Bruce Harper standing back on the Jets 48, and Ray Stackowitz standing in the end zone. Kurt Alleman will be the fullback to block for him, and Bill Whitaker, number 30, is the wideout on the right side, trying to get downfield. Good snap. Low line drive kick that's going to hit at the 40. Down there is Ron Cassidy and Jim Jensen, and Cassidy will down it at the 42-yard line. And the Jets are in great field position. Everything else is going their way. They're leading 21-3. Packer 42. Jones, Lamb Jones in motion to the right.
And Santa Claus has gone berserk.
Kevin Long hits at the 40 and drives to the 39. A pickup of 3. That'll make it 2nd and 7. Another score in that Chicago-Denver game upcoming. As you can see, Chicago having a big day, leading 28-10 in the 3rd quarter. Most recently, a 43-yard interception return by Al Harris of a Craig Morton pass. That's where the quarterbacks stack up today. 2nd and a long 7 from the 39. And it'll be Kevin Long on the draw, hit by Wingo, and still fought his way to the 35. So Rich Wingo hit him at about the line of scrimmage, but he broke the tackle and moved on. Very frustrating for number 50. The big game at the Silverdome in Pontiac involving Tampa Bay and Detroit. It is 10-10 at the start of the 4th quarter. Meanwhile, we're down to 32 seconds left in the 3rd. And here goes Bruce Harper, trying for the first down, but he didn't get it. He was hit hard as he tried to cut back. The man who hit him was number 52, George Cumby. There he is, 2 years out of Oklahoma. He was an All-American there. He had 2 knee injuries and was on injured reserve last year. And you can see time running out as far as the 3rd quarter is concerned. It is history here at Shea. So the end of the 3rd to maintain possession on a 4th and 2 from the Packer 34. Durking is in there with Bruce Harper. Play action fake, and look out as they blitz from the right side. Mike Douglas comes in to drop Todd, and that takes the first down away. On a 4th and 2, it is Mike Douglas coming in to hammer Richard Todd and getting the plaudits of the teammates.
Yes, I think Richard thought maybe he might be able to fake inside and keep it himself, but there was a blitz on Mike Douglas, 53. He guessed wrong, talking about the Jets. Green Bay guessed right, and they have possession on the 41.
Meanwhile, a great deal of interest in what transpires in Pontiac, and Tampa Bay is out in front, 13-10. A 30-yard field goal by Jim Capice. 1st and 10 for the Pack on their own 41. Dickey looking to the right side and throwing, no good. Intended for John Jefferson, defended by Jesse Johnson.
There's Jefferson going on the field, going inside a little bit, trying to get him to turn. Number 27 we're talking about. And he goes to the outside. Johnson working on Johnson. He comes back for the ball, and the ball hit him right in the face.
But you know, you have to remember too that Wesley Walker is legally blind in his left eye. He has a cataract, and he actually acted as if he lost that ball for the moment. So 2nd and 10 on the Packer 41. Dickey throwing down the left side, no good. So Lynn Dickey is 8 for 19 for 59 yards. Of course, those are cold statistics, and no pun intended. It didn't really tell the story.
And it's pretty amazing. You know, last week, of course, he threw 5 touchdown passes. He really has been a super quarterback. It's just been a tough day, that's all, period.
And a very tough day for Bart Starr and Steve Bartkowski. From the 41-yard line of the pack, it is 3rd and 10. Dickey deep down the right to Lofton. No catch. He was out of bounds.
Intended for James Lofton, rolled out of bounds. Down Ray on the coverage.
Well, I think that picture of Lynn Dickey tells it all.
I tell you, he's a great competitor. He's been a great kid. He played his collegiate football for Kansas State University, and he was super there, and he's done a great job for the Packers.
Bruce Harper deep on the Jets 17-yard line, and Stackowitz punting from the Pack 30-yard line. 21-3 New York. And he thumped that one. Fair catch for Bruce Harper at the 16-yard line. Ron Cassidy whizzing by, number 88. We'll be back with more of the Jets Green Bay. 10 minutes and 33 seconds left. The New York Jets scoring 7 in the first and 14 in the second, leading the Packers, who had a field goal in the second quarter, 21-3. And from all of us, a very Merry Christmas and happiest of New Year's to you. Here comes Freeman McNeil, and Mike Butler is on his back, and Big Mike brings him down. Dropped him at the 15-yard line. Another ball game to report on. That would be Chicago-Denver. 28-17. A 26-yard pass from Steve DeBerg to Rick Upchurch, accounting for Denver's recent score. Walt Michaels guiding his ball club from 0-3 to where they are within a grasp now of a playoff position. 2nd and 12 from the 15. Second man, Freeman McNeil, and he buys a couple, and that's about all. And again, Big Mike Butler, number 77, is right there in the middle of things.
You know, Dan Alexander, the right guard, 6'4", 260, played his collegiate football at LSU. Really doing a good job along with the offensive center, Joe Fields. But they work very well in concert with each other as far as assignments are concerned.
That's James Lofton taking a breather on the sidelines. 3rd and 10 from the 17. Harper and Durking in there behind Richard Todd. Mike Douglas leaping in the air, but the catch is made anyway by Jerome Barkham, crossing the 35-yard line and brought down by Anderson at about the 38. Mike Douglas looked like he was going to break up the play. Watch him on the right side leaping in the air.
You know, Richard, yeah, he does. He's blitzing on the play, but Todd stays in the pocket very well. Good composure. And they're here again, 2 receivers in the same spot. Lamb Jones, number 80, right over where Barkham is. But in spite of that, he still gets the ball to Barkham. He makes the reception, and they get out of the soup, so to speak, and they have a first down.
Todd now 12 for 28 for 168 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. And he has it 1st and 10 on the Jets' 37-yard line. In motion is Lamb Jones to join Walker on the left side. Second man is Freeman McNeil, and he loses the ball at the 40-yard line. And I believe the Pack has recovered. The man with the ball,
Straight ahead shot.
John Anderson.
Alexander blocking for him. The ball pops loose and is recovered by the Green Bay Packers.
But John Anderson picks off Freeman McNeil's second fumble of the day. However, it is still 21-3 New York.
owners have a lot in common besides all the different.
NFC Central in Detroit. Eric Hipple pulls out, and Leroy Selman comes in from behind. Hipple never saw him coming. He'll strip him of the ball. Logan scoops it up and goes in, and the Bucks now lead the Lions 20-10. Back to Vin Scully.
We have 12 minutes and 14 seconds left in the game. The Green Bay Packers' John Anderson has just recovered a Freeman McNeil fumble on the Jets' 40-yard line. The Jets leading 21-3. So the Packers in good field position with 12 minutes plus remaining. Lofton goes left. Jefferson goes right. Kaufman in a flex 3 yards away as the tight end. Huckleby staying in the block. And Dickey passing, no good. The closest man was John Jefferson, and he wasn't that close. In there with him was Donald Dykes defending.
I still like to see him run a trap, something to slow down that rush. They're coming off the ball very well, talking about the Jets. And they're flopping those ears back and coming after the quarterback. He must do something to slow him down.
Joe Klecko playing on that painful bad foot, but the big thing for the Jets, he's playing. And it is 2nd and 10 on the Jets' 40-yard line. Ellis staying in to help with the blocking, and the pass in and out of Lofton's hands with Dickey right there with him, and then it went right by Paul Kaufman. 5 sacks for New York today, and for Mark Gastineau, with his sack, he tied Jerry Philbin for the most sacks by a Jets player in 1 year, 19. The Packers trying to shake themselves. They have it 3rd and 10 from the 40-yard line of New York. That's Gary Lewis in motion. Kaufman, the tight end, is in to block, and Dickey is going to be escaping only for the moment. So they kept Kaufman back, number 82, to help with the blocking, and now Gastineau is limping, but they were still able to break through.
Yeah, they got good penetration again, and Klecko finally wound up making the tackle. But again, boy, they're putting tremendous pressure on the offensive line of the Green Bay Packers, and you have to give them a lot of credit for the kind of a job they've done. Watch. Here we see Klecko coming on the outside, number 73. Then he falls off and finally comes back in and makes a play. He's limping very noticeably, too. Klecko, I'm surprised that they keep him in the game.
And Gastineau was limping when he went out. And there's the punt. Coming over is Bruce Harper. The ball hits on the 15, and it will go out of bounds at the 12-yard line, and that's where the Jets will put it in play. But for Green Bay, totally shut down by a stubborn New York Jets defense. They have just been unable to generate any kind of an attack whatsoever. Dickey has passed for a total of 59 yards on CBS Sports. 1st and 10 Jets on their own 12-yard line. Lamb Jones in motion, picked up by Mark Lee. And here comes Durking, and Durking hit by Rich Wingo at the 10-yard line. And then Wingo got a lot of help. Interesting, we're talking about the sacks that the New York Jets have defensively today. And the Jets have a half a dozen sacks. What makes it interesting, the most sacks in one game by the Jets this year, 9. Against the team they are inadvertently helping today, the New York Giants.
2nd and 11.
No, it is 2nd and 11 for Richard Todd. Todd down the middle, and the catch is made by Bobby Jones. And the ever-present Mike Douglas brings him down at the 29-yard line. But Bobby Jones, who did not go to a college, in fact, he's a kid who introduced himself to his teammates when each man would stand up and say his college. Bobby got up and said Texaco Tech.
There he goes and makes a move to the inside, slides and makes the catch, tries to get up and run with it, takes the ball out to the 29-yard line. Beautiful play by Bobby Jones.
So 1st and 10 on the 29. Wesley Walker wide right. Lamb Jones left along with Jerome Barkham, who was in motion. They set up a screen for Durking. And Durkin still on his feet to midfield and takes a knock and goes out of bounds at the Packer 48-yard line. The Coke machine, Scott Durkin, picks up the first down on the screen.
Durkin really reminds me an awful lot of Mike Adamle, who played for us at Kansas City and also played for the New York Jets. Durkin is a little heavier than Mike, but they play with the same abandon, same spirit, the same style of play.
He's 5'10", 220, 5 years out of Purdue. He was a 4th-round draft pick for the New York Jets back in '77. So 1st and 10 on the Packer 48. Kevin Long and Bruce Harper are in there, and Jerome Barkham, the tight end, is in motion. And it's a draw to Bruce Harper, beautifully read by Mike Douglas, who fought off Kevin Long's block. A fine play. Boy, that number 53, the Packers are losing, but he has turned in a gem.
Well, he's played terrifically well under adverse conditions. No question about that. Mike Douglas, number 53.
So they picked up 1 yard on the play. It'll be 2nd down. Well, back at the, in fact, its ball is now at the Jets 49. So they lose 3. Make it 2nd and 13. Barkham in motion this way. Todd unloading short to Wesley Walker. He was getting some heat, too. George Cumbie, among others, coming.
Yeah, Cumbie was blitzing right up the middle. And Richard saw him coming and got rid of the ball just in time.
There's 9 minutes and 5 seconds left in the game. The Jets have thoroughly dominated the game. It all started, as far as Green Bay's problems, with a poor snap on the first punt. Stakowicz fielding the bad snap, tried to run with the ball, then tried to punt it on the run. The punt was blocked. The Jets went on to score, and New York has led ever since. We can see the conversions, 10-16 for Richard Todd and company. Todd deep down the right, Lamb Jones broken up. Mark Murphy, number 37, almost picked it off.
Yeah, they had a double coverage on Jones that time, and Richard did not see Mark Murphy, number 37, coming from the inside, deliver the ball up on top, and it was almost intercepted that time by Mark Murphy, number 37. Here again, the amazing thing is, really, all afternoon, he's had all the time in the world to throw the football, and he's thrown it extremely well. But the key is that he's had terrific pass protection all afternoon.
So now Chuck Ramsey, who was a quarterback in college at Wake Forest, will be doing the punting for New York. Mark Lee taking it at the 19-yard line, got away from Donald Dykes, slipped, however, and he's swallowed up. Donald Dykes, number 26, was the man who first hit him, and that caused him to stumble, and it ruined any comeback attempt. It's 2 years for Hank and myself, for the award-winning technicians sending you this ball game, and for everybody at CBS Sports. Have a great one. 1st and 10 on the Packer 18-yard line. In motion is Gary Lewis. Little swing to Ellis, and Ellis is going to be hog-tied by Holmes, who dropped him at the 15-yard line. So Jerry Holmes, 2 years out of West Virginia, comes in. He was a free agent last year. Holmes gets his man.
You know, Green Bay came into the game with a very outstanding passing offense. They have not run very well. Coming into the game, 10 offensively, 12 with the run, 6 against the pass, but they've been kind of a one-dimension team. They haven't been able to do any running at all, and it's tough to win if you have to throw, and especially when you have to play catch-up football.
In fact, Ellis has rushed 10 times for only 28 yards. Huckleby twice for 2 yards, and that's the extent of it. 2nd and 13 from the 15. Dickey over the middle to Paul Kaufman, the tight end at the 25. He dropped the ball, and it is picked up by Springs, Kirk Springs, who's a nickelback out of Miami of Ohio. And it's Kurt who picks up the loose ball.
There you see Kaufman coming across the middle. The ball is right on the money. He makes the catch, tucks it away, runs upfield, and the ball slides right out, right down the side of his leg, and is finally recovered there by the New York Jets. Kirk Springs, number 45.
Now there's Paul Kaufman, pretty much down about things right now, understandably so. There's Kirk Springs, who is rather euphoric for the moment, coming up with the recovery. 1st and 10 for the Jets on the Pack 25-yard line. And now Todd zeroes in for the coup de grace. And Kevin Long carries it inside the 20. Mike Douglas on his back at the 17-yard line. And another visit to Brent Musburger here in New York.
Benny, Eric Hipple and the Lions were going in. He pulled out. He had Freddie Scott, who blew the catch, and Cedric Brown with his 2nd interception of the day. Still 20-10 Buccaneers. Back to you in Shea Stadium.
Oh, I can hear the moans and the groans in the Silver Dome right now. So it is 2nd down and about 4. The ball inside the 20 at about the 19-yard line. Todd to Kevin Long. Long didn't get enough for the 1st down. He has to get to the 15-yard line. But time is an ally of the Jets now. 7 minutes and down to 6:50. For Walt Michaels and the New York Jets, they are 6:50 away from turning an 0-3 team into a playoff team. And as you can see, it's been a big year for the NFC. They have handled the AFC exceptionally well.
You know, and talk about the Jets, I went out to watch them practice the other day, talked to Michaels after the practice session, and he talked about his team. He said they just hope to be a fundamentally sound team this afternoon, to block, to tackle, to execute, and that's what they've done here this afternoon very, very well.
Kevin Long loses the ball, a pileup, and Green Bay has recovered, and I believe Mike Douglas, number 53, is down at the bottom of the pile. What a game he has played. There he is. The Packers might lose, but he is anything but a loser. Mike Douglas, great individual effort.
Yeah, he's done everything but line the field here this afternoon. He's really been a very, very outstanding performer.
So the Packers, after Kaufman's fumble, recover this fumble by Kevin Long, but the Jets by Springs. Long has just fumbled, recovered by Douglas. And the Pack has it 1st and 10 on their own 14-yard line. Dickey looking, swallowed up by Marty Lyon. When they tell me in high school, struck out 23 batters in 11 innings. Boy, he's pitching some kind of a one-hitter today.
Yes, yes, he is.
And for Lynn Dickey, he has suddenly become a catcher now. That's the 7th sack for New York. Dickey throwing for his life for Kaufman, and Dickey is on his back in the end zone with Marty Lyons on top of him again.
And I said it earlier, and I'll say it again, Lyons and Salam, they really have not gotten the recognition and credit they deserve, because they really put a lot of inside pressure on the offensive line and on the quarterback, and it's been very beneficial to Gastineau and Pleco, but those two guys are very outstanding.
So for Lynn Dickey, the Jets really giving them a bad time up front. Of course, this crew has given a lot of quarterbacks a bad time, and there they are. The sack exchange, Gastineau, Salam, Lyons, and Pleco. And it is a 3rd and 16. The ball is back as Dickey drops to the end zone to pass. No good. Intended for John Jefferson, but no chance.
Well, I'm really surprised that Pleco is still in the game. He shouldn't be in there. He's got a bad leg. You'd think they'd give him a rest and get him ready for the playoffs, but he's still in there.
So Ray Stackowitz will be asked to kick it out of the end zone. The line of scrimmage is the 8-yard line, and they're going wild at Shea Stadium. Boy, what an incredible year. The Giants and the Jets, who started off so slowly, on their way to playoffs.
And I talked to Ray Perkins after the game yesterday, and of course he was very excited about the fact they won the game. So they had done everything they possibly could. Now it's up to the New York Jets. They'd be pulling for them. And of course now he's got to be very happy about what's happened here this afternoon.
Stackowitz will get it away. Bruce Harper standing at the 48-yard line. To the 45. Still on his feet to the 40. And then he runs into trouble, and they drop him at the 38. Guy Prather, number 51, was down there to make the hit for Green Bay. So Todd in excellent field position at the 39. Play action fake to Durkin. And Todd going deep all alone. Wesley Walker. He couldn't even get close to him.
You know, and Walker caught the bottom half of the football that time. It really did. It was almost halfway through, and he caught the tip of it. A beautiful catch by Walker. Harvey had no chance whatsoever. Ran right by him. Boy, with terrific speed and a great-looking play. A play-action pass thrown by Richard Todd.
It's ending plays, and it is 28-3 in favor of the Jets. Talk about feeling no cold. We have 5:25 left in the game, and for Bart Starr and his hard-working team, a dismal day. The best shot was not good enough. Turdell Middleton and Mike McCoy deep, and you had a close-up of Turdell Middleton. Pat Leahy will tee it up. There's Mike McCoy, number 29. So McCoy and Middleton, the deep men. 5:25 left in the game. 28-3 in favor of the Jets. Coming up is Middleton to take it at the 12, to the 20, to the 25, to the 30. And down he goes at about the 32. Well, we have a moment, a reminder tonight on CBS 60 Minutes. Archie Bunker's Place, one day at a time. Alice, the Jeffersons, and then Trapper John, M.D. It's all tonight right here on CBS. So the Packers have 5 minutes left. They're down 28-3, and they have it 1st and 10 on their own 32. Jefferson and Kaufman are left. Lofton is right. Ellis and Huckabee are the running back. And he'll go to Ellis. And Ellis across the 40 to the 45 and out to the 48-yard line. A murmur of protest considering the time left in the game.
And Kenny Neal is playing the in possession for Klecko at this time, with 4:52 left in the contest.
1st and 10 on the Packer 48. The pass is caught by John Jefferson. He's at the Jets 35 to the 30 and goes down at the 29. So Jefferson hooks up, and the Pack has it 1st and 10, starting on their own 32. They've moved it to the Jets 29-yard line with 4:27 left in the game. 28-3 New York. Lofton left, Kaufman and Jefferson right. And Dickey deep, no good, and the man who almost caught it was Lance Mel, number 56, who went up in the air, had his hands on it, but couldn't hold it. Mel has come back nicely from a severe concussion in the Seattle game. By the way, in a note of history, the last game played at Metropolitan Stadium in Bloomington. You know, next year they go indoors, the Hubert Humphreys Arena. And in the final game at Metropolitan, Kansas City beat Minnesota 10-6. And for the first time in his coaching career in the NFL, Bud Grant's team has lost 5 in a row. What a way to finish the year for Minnesota. 2nd and 10 from the 29. Dickey for Kaufman. No good. Kaufman getting a lot of coverage. Kenny Schroy was there to hit him. And at the same time, Johnny Lynn was in there, number 29, playing with a bad neck.
Yeah, they're playing with 5 defensive backs, which is very obvious. And he had a chance to make the catch, but there was heavy traffic.
And, of course, for people in the New York area, Jets playoff tickets go on sale tomorrow, December 21st at 8 a.m. at the advanced ticket window right here at Shea Stadium. Boy, that's an announcement I'm sure even the wildest Jet fan wouldn't believe possible earlier this year. 3rd and 10 on the Jets 29. Dickey for Lofton, no good. He tried to make a one-hand catch, and James couldn't hold on to it.
And Walt Michaels and his fine coaching staff got a lot of abuse early in the season. They deserve a lot of credit for the way this team has come back and played the rest of the season.
Heartiest congratulations to Walt, who, of course, is known for his great career with the Cleveland Browns, but briefly was with the Green Bay Packers and was traded back to Cleveland for a name that it's synonymous with the Packers, Forrest Gregg. 4 minutes left. And it's 4th and 10 for Dickey and the hard-pressed Packers, 28-3 Jets. Dickey under a rush, and down he goes. Coming in a hurry was Abdul Salam and Marty Lyons, but it was Salam, the soldier of peace, who came in to deck him, and that would be the 8th sack. They've had 8 sacks 3 other times this year, twice against New England. They had 8 sacks against Houston, and of course they're high. They had 9, as we mentioned earlier, against the Giants. That gives them 65 sacks, 2 behind Oakland.
And you talk about Dickey being under the rush that time. He literally went under the rush. It went right over the top of him. He fell to the turf, but it was another sack.
So the exchange quite delighted with itself. 1st and 10 on the Jets 37. Lamb Jones in motion to the left. Todd going straight ahead. There'll be no tricks now. And of course, for Richard Todd, a fellow who struggled trying to make Jets fans forget Joe Namath and Al Darrow, it has been a tremendous year. He's had a bad ankle, a bad shoulder, he's had bad ribs, and he has fought his way and piloted his Jets team back. And our heartiest congratulations to Richard Todd and the members of the Green.
He feels, he felt that he matured an awful lot this year. I think they also felt very strongly about the fact that Joe Walton has made an outstanding contribution from an offensive viewpoint. But it's been a combination of a lot of things, but regardless what it is, the Jets have done a super job.
From the 38, it is 2nd and 9, and they'll stay on the ground at Durking, and Durking maybe gets back to the line of scrimmage and falls forward for a yard. We're down to 3 minutes and 7 seconds. This well-bundled up sellout crowd on its feet, not just for warmth. They want to burn off a little extra enthusiasm. It has really been the Jets all day. At no time today did you get the feeling that the Packers could handle the Jets' thrust defensively, nor could they handle the Jets' offensive line when they were on defense.
Yeah, it's just one of those days. It was a no-contest game for the Green Bay Packers right from the very beginning. They got in trouble early and stayed in trouble for the entire afternoon.
And, of course, that's a tough break for the Pack. They had come in here having won 6 of their last 7.
Todd looks a little heavier on the waist. He isn't. That's a flak jacket he's wearing for protection for the ribs.
Kevin Long is brought down by Rich Wingo as he got to the 40-yard line and rolled forward to the 41. Time called with 2 minutes and 20 seconds left in the game. Green Bay calling the timeout. But the New York Jets are on top of the world with 2:20 to go. The Jets leading the Packers with 60 minutes. Ready to punt now for the Jets. Deep is Fred Nixon standing on the Packer 18-yard line with 2:20 left. A high snap, but Ramsey gets it away. It's a short kick. It'll hit at the 40-yard line. Rolling to the 35 and to the 34 where it is down by New York, and that's where the Pack will put it in play. 1st and 10 from their own 34-yard line. 2 minutes and 9 seconds left in the game. The Jets scored 7 in the first quarter and 14 in the second quarter, while the Packers could only muster a field goal from Jan Stenerud. So it was 21-3 Jets. It was a scoreless third quarter, and the Jets scored in the fourth quarter, 28-3. There were 2 electrifying scoring passes, 55 yards to Lamb Jones and 35 to John Jefferson. Wesley Walker making the big reception in the Jets end zone. And the story has been all the Jets. Ellis staying in the block, and he still can't do it. Down he goes. Neal, number 77, and Rudolph, 76. They're the backup men for the sack exchange. That's the 9th sack. That equals the 9 that they had against the New York Giants. And with 9 sacks today, that gives them 66. They're just second down for the Pack. Dickey throwing to Lofton, and he can't hold it. James Lofton unable to hold on to it. By the way, friends, tonight on 60 Minutes, Mike Wallace interviews Nancy Reagan, and for the first time, the Polish government tells its story of the crisis in that country. That's tonight on CBS. Flecko, Lyons, Salam, Gastineau, and now Neal and Rudolph are in there. 9 sacks for the Jets. Third and 16 from the 27. Complete to Lofton, making the reception at the 35-yard line with 1 minute and 46 left and time running out. Meanwhile, a final score, the first time Detroit loses at home all year. They lose the biggest game of the year.
And what a time to lose it, huh?
Dickey to Kaufman, and Kaufman can't hold on to it. So Tampa Bay wins the divisional championship in the NFC Central as they knock off Detroit. And here delirium has set in with 1 minute and 25 left. The Jets have locked it up 28-3.
And Green Bay has had to play catch-up football all afternoon. Dickey has thrown through 33 times, completed only 12 for a total of 98 yards.
By the way, in talking about the Jets game coming up next week, we have to correct the time. That time with Buffalo, a 12 o'clock Eastern game, the AFC wildcard game. Richard Todd taking no chances, and the clock running down. So our heartiest congratulations to Walt Michaels and the Jets. Condolences, of course, to Bart Starr and the Packers. We have a minute left. A delirious one side and a downcast other. The story here at Shea.
I know this is a tough finish, but I still think Bart Starr and his coaching staff did a super job under the circumstances of the season. They had some tough luck. They had some bad injuries. They came back and fought hard, won some games, and it's too bad they finished like they did there this afternoon, but they deserve a lot of credit for making their club hang in there like they had.
Talking about deserving a lot of credit, the 1981 New York Jets team has just set a Jets defensive mark. Can you imagine holding the Green Bay Packers total offense to 68 yards?
Incredible, and you have to give them a lot of credit for the great job that they did. Walt Michaels, his coaching staff, and of course the players.
Though it is all over, just the formality of the seconds to tick away as Walt Michaels and the New York Jets, a team that started off 0-3, had won 10 of their last 13 with a tie, go on to defeat the Packers 28-3. Terry O'Neill, Charles Milton.